So, Takara, we actually had you attacked.
Yes.
And
you lied about it.
Yeah, we did lie. We told you that it was going to be where?
At the ATM, and I was at home, and I was telling all my friends and family, I'm getting attacked at the ATM, and I'm going to mess somebody up.
Yeah. We even fooled you and put lights around an ATM when you went to the ATM just to kind of make you think that.
The whole setup and everything, and I was, even when I got to the ATM, and it was just a run-through, I was nervous. I was like, okay, wait a minute, hold on, I'm not ready yet. And they're like, oh, don't worry, you know, we're going, you know, this is not it. This is not the real thing. But I was scared, even knowing that I was about to be attacked, and then you caught me.
Totally off guard. All right, we did have you attacked, and we're going to take a look at that attack that you had no idea was coming. Each day, hundreds of women are attacked. If you had 60 seconds to save your life, could you? We set Takara up on a surprise attack to see how well she could defend herself. Although the attack was staged, Takara had no idea when it was going to happen. Our attacker surprised her in an underground parking structure. Most women don't get a practice round with their attack. Did you know what to do if you were faced with this situation?
I really don't think it was about defending myself. There was nowhere to go. There was nowhere to go. I didn't know how to prevent him from not being able to chase me. So I turned around and I tried to defend myself. I was kicking him. And then I realized, what am I doing? Why am I standing here trying to fight with this man? So I stopped kicking him and I ran towards the elevator. That was just really scary, just really trapped.
Takara, that looked so scary.
It was. It was, and the scary thing is that I always thought, like, you know, I think I'm hard, you know, I'm hard and can't nobody mess with me, and if anyone ever messed with me, I would kick their ass. And really the thing is that I defend myself because I grew up fighting in high school and everything, elementary, I fought all the time. But what was scary was when I ran the first time, and even though it was a controlled situation, when I ran, I thought it was going to be cut over, and it wasn't.
And he kept coming.
And he kept coming after me, and he was right behind me on my back, and I felt helpless. And I think that was the scariest thing, was feeling helpless and having nowhere to go, and I'm screaming help, and I realized, and it was like everything stopped. You know how they say, like, things just stopped and just became really slow motion, that there was no one to help. And I didn't know where I was running. I was 3 levels underground. I didn't know where I was running to, and this man was right on my back. I could feel him. I knew he could reach out and grab me, and I had to make a decision to either let him grab me or to turn around and try to defend myself. And after it was over, I was like, oh my God, I didn't do the things I thought I was going to do. I thought, well, you know, kick him in his or hit him. I thought all these things.
I really just imagine if it wasn't a planned attack.
Right.
You would have been even more off guard. I used to live in an apartment building just recently, and there was a structure underneath, and it was reported that someone in my building was attacked with a, you know, robbed with a gun and a burglary, and ever since then I felt so like vulnerable. You know, I had my keys in my hand, and I'm like, that's not enough. Then I had some mace, and I'm like, I still felt like helpless.
And that's the bad feeling, because the thing is, I didn't know what to do to immobilize him, to make him stay. Even when I ran to the elevator, at that moment, I knew where the elevator was, but I didn't know what to do to make him stay on that ground.
Away, make him stay. Well, there are things that you can do to save your life and to make him stay away, to immobilize him. And here to help us learn how to survive an attack is the instructor of the Los Angeles Krav Maga Center, Marcus Kowal. So, Marcus, you saw Takara get attacked. What did she do? Let's start with the positive. What did she do that was right?
She was very aggressive. She was very loud, screaming, drawing attention.
Yeah.
and also intimidating the attacker. Attackers don't want a lot of noise around them. They want to be left alone to try to do what they're trying to do.
Yeah, everybody could hear it at home, but when your tape was playing, the audience here, you guys were screaming and cheering you on because you were so aggressive, and I liked that actually. It made me say, "Ooh, okay, now I know what to do to be extremely loud." Now, what did she do that was wrong?
It's one point which is kind of trying to wrestle with the attacker. Wrestling is most likely not going to get you anywhere. You want to try to hit vulnerable areas. You had opportunities to kick, knee to the groin, and as you said, you had planned it before, but when it happens, it has to be kind of trained.
Yes.
It has to be part of your muscle memory.
You have to know exactly what to do. And I heard that she kicked, and she shouldn't have kicked because that makes her vulnerable for you to catch the leg. Right?
Yes and no.
No?
We don't teach a lot. Yes, we don't teach a lot of high kicks. If you try to throw high kicks, that's possible. Kicking to the groin, kicking to the knees, stomping to the feet.
Okay.
It's definitely something that we recommend. Fight.
Wow. And then she ran toward her attacker. Should she have done that?
Fight and or flight. In the place where she was in a very secluded parking lot. I would have recommended her to finish the fight when it's at one point where he's down on the ground. Continue fighting, continue punching, continue kicking, eliminate
but at
danger
that
to you.
moment, I realized it was another slow moment. It was like, oh my God, this is a man, and if he catches my feet, or if he grabs me or pull me in, he's stronger than I am, and I'm not a fool. I got to get away. I got to go.
So she didn't harm him enough to run because he wasn't hurting
She
enough.
could have thrown a couple of more kicks, perhaps to his face, vulnerable areas, but when he takes off running, don't run after him. Let the police take care of that.
Are most women able to identify their attacker? Because if you can identify them, then it totally cuts the chances of it happening to someone else.
No, very rarely. In this case, he was wearing a ski mask, which makes it even more difficult. But when it's being dark, when you have adrenaline pumping in your body, last thing on your mind is, what does this guy look like? What color is his eyes?
Do you think you can identify your attacker? You want to try? He's in the audience. Can all the men stand up in the audience, please? Do you think you can do it? Why don't you go on up and see if you can go pick him out? What do you think, Takara? What's going through your head right now?
I don't know.
Okay, then I want every guy to sit down that was not her attacker, and for her attacker to remain standing. That is your attacker.
No, don't touch me.
That is your attacker.
You know what? I wouldn't have.
That's him.
I thought he was shorter.
You thought he was shorter.
I thought he was shorter.
Marcus, what can you do to remember your attacker?
Well, in a situation like this where that Takara was just in, that was a very fast...
You did great.
That was a very what?
That was a very fast attack. It happened so quickly, and the attack was over within 60 seconds. It's not much you can do, and that, in my opinion, should not be your main focus. Your main focus should be try to eliminate the danger to you.
Get away. Hurt him and get away.
In a situation where a woman is raped, or which is being held for days or for hours, then try to memorize little things, eye color, little notable things.
But that was hard. He had on a ski mask. He had on all black. I mean, every part of his body was covered up, and he was like coming after me. And
all right. Well,
this is really hard.
This is really hard. Well, thank you, Takara. Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. We'll be right back. Coming up, what you need to know in case you're attacked.
It doesn't matter if a man weighs 150 pounds or 250 pounds, his groin is going to be just as vulnerable.
Oh!
Good.